Hello everybody, this is Furniture Baldwin here, and welcome back to Train Sim World 6. Yes, Train Sim World 6 live stream is happening today, because we're playing on, well, of course, the New York to Stamford route, yes. And I'm taking everything, of course, as I usually do with these live streams. Everything's pretty good here. Yep, sound should be good. 6, yep, alright, everything's great. Alright, so... Oh, we even got captions on for some reason. Alright, go away. Alright, let's go Google Docs on my iPad so I know what to look out for. So yes, welcome indeed back to Train Sim World 6. Playing on the... Look at there, the game. Yes, here we are back here on Train Sim World 6. Oh, I gotta move over the chat. There we go, and I can see the chat. And... I think it's a bit loud, but I think we'll deal with it. I am on. I am playing on the game set at. Oh, of course, everything's going nuts here. Yeah, we're good with the freight equipment where it does weird noises and stuff, where it's kind of like, even though it shouldn't. Does it want to get close? Okay, all right, whatever. Alrighty then, so yep, everything looks to be good. So yeah, I know that I probably things a bit loud. I'm gonna talk as loud as I can so I can, don't get drowned out by the engine, but there you go. Alrighty then, so let's get into it. So, Northeast Corridor, New York to Stamford, a route that came out very recently, yeah. Funnily enough, we took a look at the Northeast Corridor New York route over on Train Sim World 1, which came out 8 years ago, back in 2018. And now here we are 8 years later, taking a look at what is kind of the remake of that route, but in a different part, more route. You get the point. It's basically that route remade plus more, and yeah. So it's a pretty interesting route. I'm looking forward to getting into it. So yeah, let's get to it. So we're gonna start out though. We'll take a look at the equipment though. Yeah, we're gonna do something like we usually do in the Train Sim 3 videos, and we're gonna take a look at everything they get in this route. So yeah, start with take a look at the equipment they get here with this quarter New York Stamford. So first up, of course, here is the Metro North M8. And this freight equipment is actually getting really... Can I uncouple this? This is getting kind of annoying now. Yeah, I do apologize for this. This is a glitch with the game because, of course, it is a dovetail. Has that silenced it? Huh, that actually worked. Alright, great. Anyway, so, Metro North M8. Yes. Okay, this thing is very loud. Yeah, I probably should have thought this out better. Yeah, I'm gonna shut the engine down actually, because this is getting kind of on my nerves now. It's so loud. I shut the thing down. Is it Z? No. Oh, it's in here, isn't it? It's one of these panels. Okay, I want to do the emergency stop. I just want to shut the engine off. Okay, there's your engine sound. Okay, we'll just do this one then, because I can't find the button. There we go. There we go. Alright, much better. Alright, so, Metro North M8. Yes, this is the new guy. And also, I got clouds turned on, because I'm stupid. I should have had clouds off, but I forgot. And then I realized when I set this up, yeah. So we're doing this as a bit of a slapdash thing. Alright, so the Metro North M8, a brand new unit in this route, the only new thing in this route. Yeah, it's here. This is the M8, of course, which was introduced in the early 2010s, I think. I don't know the exact year, but it was on that time. And, of course, this is a dual voltage EMU, of course, which means it can operate either as a third rail unit or overhead electric. And what's cool about this route is that you actually do have to do a power changeover at some point. Yeah, because if you do a service from Grand Central to Stamford, you have to start out in third rail mode, and then around the line that goes between the Harlem line and the Northeast Corridor, you do have to change power modes over to overhead, and then vice versa if you're doing Stamford to Grand Central Terminal. And as usual, Dovetail done a pretty good job with this. I don't know if it's 100% accurate, but it's good enough, for someone like me who knows these things well enough, but also isn't, I'm not like crazy when it comes to like the tiny little details that only eagle-eyed people will be able to notice. But to me, again, as someone who knows these units pretty well, I did a good job as usual with the model, but Dovetail always do a good job with the modeling, so that's not really much to say there. Yeah, looks pretty good. I only have a 2-car unit set down here because I think this is all they really have. Of course, you can't couple both of them together to make, I think they go up to 10 cars, at least in the free roam thing. I'm not sure what the maximum cons you see in the actual timetable mode or scenarios, but yeah. So it's basically married pairs. Of course, you have the A unit, which has the pantograph, and then the B unit, which is just the other car. I think there are 3-car variants, though. There's like, I think some of these M8s have like middle coaches, which is just like the ends and stuff. But yeah, like what Dovetail did with the original M8 add-on for Transmit Classic way back in 2014. They only have the 2 married pairs, and that's it, which is realistic. But I guess it would be even more realistic though if you had, not just married pairs, but also pairs with the middle coach. But oh well, I guess it's kind of like the MBTA situation where it took a while till we got the double-decker coaches, and we still haven't got all the single-decker coaches, so whatever. Let me double make sure the stream is good. Because again, I don't want to mess up and then everything's going wrong. Because to be fair, there were no issues with the Northeast Corridor New York stream, but I'm just a bit sensitive to this kind of things. Because there's been times where I've done actually the past and everything goes wrong, but so far this is alright. Alright, so there you go then. I think we can walk around the interior of this train in a little bit, actually. But let's do that right now, actually. I'm in the S4-2 engine, which is probably a good thing because I was able to shut the engine down because it's so loud compared to these electrics. Alright, run mode, okay. But here we are then, the M8. We'll just open the front door here. I can barely click tab when we have to get into the timetable mode, but for now, here's just the, here's the interior view. You have to get your seats. I guess this door's... Yeah, that's the door that goes into the... there's the cab, of course, but... I think it's supposed to be set like this when the driver's in the cab, so yeah, there you go. And here, of course, is the interior, which is empty at the moment. I thought I brought a loaded version, but... Oh, well, this empty version will work fine. And fun fact, I actually have ridden... an M8 before. A few years ago, I actually rode, not a Metro North M8, but technically a Metro North M8. I rode I actually rode an M8 that they use on the CT Rail Shoreline East route from New Haven to New London. But of course, this here is the Metro North version, which I think the CT Rail Metro North are pretty much identical, although the one small difference is that the CT Rail M8s have had their third rail shoes removed because they don't need them, and also because of clearance and stuff. Whereas, of course, the Metro North ones do still need them because, they got to go between, third rail and overhead. And here's the coach. But yeah, pretty nice interior, and it's actually pretty nice used in real life as well. Actually, I quite enjoyed my ride on these when I went. And actually, if you want to take a look at that, I actually did a video on that little adventure as well. So yeah, if you want to see my day on the, what is it, the Shoreline East route, riding one of these, you can take a look at that in my Real Trains playlist. I think do the doors close manually? I don't know if they do. Did they close no, did the doors close automatically? I don't know if they do, but we'll close them manually then just to be on the safe side. Alright, so... But there you go then, the Metro North M8. Oh, and the stupid compass is showing. I still haven't fixed that since Trace 5 on this. So I'm just gonna sit here in the cab of the M8. We won't actually drive it, of course, but we'll drive it later when we're out to the here. And for some reason, the engine has turns itself on again for some reason. What the heck? All right. Well, I guess I shut it off again. All right. Well, we'll go back to the M8 in just a little bit, but first I gotta make this thing go quiet again because it's being stupid. I think there is a proper shutdown button here, but I don't know where it is, and I can't be bothered to find out because, you know, I'm supposed to be reviewing the equipment, not driving the train. But yeah, there's the M8 overall, pretty nice unit, and we'll see how it sounds and plays like when we get into the time to mode. Alright, but of course, that's the only new thing in this route. As far as other stuff, we also have the amateur cases for an athlete coaches, of course, but of course this is reused content from previous routes. In fact, this is now the third time, technically fourth time, that's been recycled. Of course, this train made its debut in the original Northeast Corridor New York route, which I played on the channel recently, and then it was updated and brought to Train Sim 2 standards with the Boston Province route. Then it was recycled for the New York Trenton route with some updates. Although the updates were pretty minuscule, so I didn't really notice any updates, or I didn't really notice any real difference between the New York Trenton A64 and the Boston Province one. And now it's been recycled again for this route, which of course makes sense because, you know, it's another part of Northeast Corridor. Although I believe the main difference here though is that the A64 in this route has the Metro North cab signaling, of course, which I don't think the others don't, so that's interesting. And also, this thing has of course been updated with suspension physics and the announcements, so you do get announcements in the cab and stuff like that, which I know it doesn't really make much sense, but they had the option there. So yeah, if you want to look at the announcements while you're on the A64 locomotive, you can of course listen to that. So yeah, it's not like straight copy and paste. I just had some updates, but for the most part, still very much the same here. Yeah. And actually, the naming conventions in the free room are a little bit confusing, right? Because the New York Trenton A64 is marked as NYT, you know, A64, but then you have some things which are just labeled A64, and they have some which are Amtrak A64, and those two are essentially either the New York Stamford one or the Boston Province one, so that's a bit confusing. I don't know why they didn't label this one like Stamford or something like that, or New York, or NYS, New York Stamford, like they did with New York Trenton. So it makes it a bit confusing. So you don't actually know if you're spawning in either the Boston Province one or the New York or Stamford version, unless you're, you know which one is which I don't really. So yeah, I know this is the New York Stamford version though, because I actually had to uninstall the Boston Province route temporarily so I could know, what this is. So yeah, so this is a word of caution. Then if you're spawning in NEC for free mode, make sure you know whether it's the Boston Province version or the New York Stamford version. As for the amphitheats, again, these are pretty much the same as the other routes. Not much to say about these. Of course, you have the coach class version, the cafe version, and the business class version as well. Otherwise, not much to say. Of course, these are pretty much the same as they've been for years now. Again, I think the only addition here is, of course, suspension physics and announcements. And I do believe these also have the guard mode feature now. Although I think the guard mode's a bit glitchy on these, so I don't know if that works. But you can do guard mode on all these regional services now, which is kind of funny because there's also a mod for New York Trenton, which actually allows you to do guard mode on all these regional services on New York Trenton as well. But now you can do them natively in the game here in the New York Stamford route. So yeah, here's your look at the amphitheats again, pretty much the same as it's always been. So I'm not gonna go over these in too much detail. And of course, we will drive this in the live stream today as well. So there's the two passenger trains then, of course. And, of course, we'll also have some freight equipment, which I actually have to let my bad for because I don't really know the details on these. And, yeah, so here we have the CSX SD40-2, as opposed to the GP40-2 that drove last time. I think, actually, the SD40-2 was actually included in the... Or no, was it the GP40-38-2? I don't know. Whatever. SD40-2 is here, included as part of this route, which I think is just also... recycled from St. Patrick's Day with some updates here and there, maybe. Although, from what I know, this doesn't have the in-cap signaling for some reason, so you have to, do some stuff. I mean, I always drive with the HUD turned on anyway, but if you're like a HUD-less player, I guess gotta have the, gotta know about the signals and stuff like that. So yeah, S4-2, only in the YN3 livery, by the way. I don't think they've included the YN2 livery with this add-on, which is fair enough, I guess. Although this is the version with the sort of boxcar logo, which looks neat. So yeah, there you go. Now, in terms of the equipment itself, I'm not sure if some of this is either base game stuff or included with New York Stanford. I know New York Stanford does come with some freight equipment, but some of this might also be for the default game. I'm not too sure, but I'm going to go over all of it anyways that I have here. First up, we have the Twin Bay Hopper, which is this thing. Oh, come on. I don't think any of this is new, by the way. I think pretty much all of this is recycled from either St. Patrick's or some of the other freight routes we've gotten over the years here in Trades of the World, so nothing really new here. Up next is the 85-foot flat car. This thing... yeah. So there you go. And you also have the 85-foot version with a load, which looks like it's got some sort of containers, I think. Yeah, sort of boxes and stuff like that, which looks pretty cool. Okay, some of this might be default, some of this might be included with the route, but either way, it's all I found in the base game, so there you go. Next is the covered hopper, which is in... Oh, never mind, I thought it was in a livery, but yeah, here's the covered hopper then, which is, yeah, it's just called covered hopper, by the way. There's no like fancy name for it. It's called covered hopper in the file, so, or in the free roam thing, so there you go. As well as the formation designer. Here's the DOT 117 tanker car, which you guys would featured in many American freight routes at this point, so just kind of reuse content. But it's here anyways, you know, for freight stuff. Here we have, here we go. Yeah, this is the double door boxcar with a Union Pacific logo on here. So you may be wondering why is there a Union Pacific boxcar, even though this is a CSX and UP. Well, to be fair, equipment from different freight roads does travel all over the country, you know, so yeah. Although I do wonder, I think there is a version of this boxcar in CSX livery here in Trades of the World, but they have the UP version included with this route, which is a little bit strange, but I guess it does make sense though if you know like your American railroad stuff like that. So yeah. Okay, I'm not sure if this is either default or if this is in fact included with the route, but it's here anyway, so there you go. Now for the NSC 73 center beam yellow thing, which is used, I believe, for carrying like papers and stuff like that, but this is an empty version. I think there is a loaded version of this, but I couldn't be bothered spawning in, but here it is then. Yep. And finally, another UP branded piece of equipment. This is the reefer car, which again, yeah, I'm not sure if this is included with the route or if this is default, but here it is in this thingy. Yeah. So there you go. And that's everything. That's all you get with New York Stanford. So you get 3 different trains. Of course, you get the M8 for commuter services. You get your Amtrak for Amtrak services, and of course, you get freight for freight services. So yeah. So overall, pretty decent mix of trains you get with the route. And of course, if you get other stuff, you will be able to get more services. But that, as I'll show in, well, so right now actually, I'm gonna go back to the main menu, and I can show you the timetable services. Everything's so good, by the way. Nobody in the chat so far. From what I can tell, everything looks alright on my end, at least. So I'll check YouTube real quick. Make sure everything's fine there. And I got a like as well, apparently, but nobody in the chat. So yeah. Alright, well, maybe some more people turn up as... Oh, yeah, doing the dual stream thing again, by the way, so that's, interesting. Okay, but I think as far as the stream, that's what I'm going to do in terms of fine-tuning and stuff. Alright, let's actually get into it. Alright, oh, let's play New York... National Train Center, and you want New York Stanford. So I don't know this corridor. There it is. And timetable, so... you get a decent number of selections here, as well as some of the other stuff. Let's start with what you get with the routes. Of course, you have the 8664, and you can actually choose to either do the New York Trenton or the Boston Sprinter versions. Although, from what I know, the New York Stanford version, the Stanford one, which is here, has the Metro with cap signal, which is specific to this route. So I don't think you can drive any of these on this route. You have to pick the New York Stanford version, or else there might be some problems with the signaling. So yeah. Yeah, so I guess we'll start with the 864 then. Decent number of service, of course. You have your Amtrak services. There's also this work train that I've noticed, which is like really early in the morning. But most of these are these regional services. But you do also get the Where is it? I just had it. Where's the Vermonter? Oh, I just missed it. Hang on. There we go. St. Albans Weston. Yeah, you do get Vermonter services as well, though, which I believe is the only other Amtrak train, because this, like, in terms of, like, ACES 64 Hull trains, it's mainly just Northeast regional services, as you can see right here. There are some deadhead services you can do those for fun, but otherwise, mostly Northeast regional services from Penn Station to Stamford. And, of course, you do get the bi-daily Amtrak Vermonter service. You get one service going northbound, the other service going southbound, or west, east, west, whatever you want to say. So, yeah, you get the Vermonter. I wonder if it's also the correct concept, by the way, because I know the Vermonter concept also exists over in New Trenton, but that concept is wrong, because 7 coaches was supposed to be 5. Anyways. Now for the M8, of course, which is included with the route. Also, I like how for this route, they actually fixed the issue where... I noticed for some reason in, like, train similar routes, you get, like, multiple different sections of the same train, but it seems like for this route, they finally fixed that. So, about time. Anyway, look at the M8 services, which are a lot more varied, of course. You get a bunch of different services, empty, stock moves, and stuff like that. I'm not sure if there's any special services they can do, but maybe there are. I don't know where they are. Oh yeah, Stamford. Oh, that's the yard. Never mind. Yeah, maybe there's some other like stuff here, but I mainly want to turn your attention to the regular services that exist. So you actually to get 2 different kinds of services you can do with the MA. You can either do semi-express. Wait, semi-express? I guess semi-express services exist for like early morning services, but no, I want to mainly focus on the, here we go, express and local. So it may seem a bit weird that they cut this route off at Stamford when it should go all the way to New Haven. However, actually there are actually services that actually go from Stamford to Grand Central or vice versa. So actually, if you look here, yeah, New Haven, no, Grand Central, here we go, Grand Central Terminal. So you have operate this local train from Grand Central Terminal to Stamford. So there are actually local services that do terminate in Stamford. So what you could do is they could start at Grand Central, go to Stamford, and they could walk to the other end of the train, and then do the service back to Grand Central, all within the game, you know? Now, of course, you do get, of course, services from New Haven as well, which, of course, go as far as Stamford, and that's the end of the service. You know, of course, the train will just probably drive its way to New Haven, as it does in real life. But, of course, you do also have Grand Central to Stamford services. So you can go from Grand Central, go to Stamford, change ends, and then go back the way to Grand Central, and then maybe even go vice versa. So you can do, like, a multi-day service, multi-round service, something like that. So that's clearly the option there. Oh, it's pretty much a typical yard moves. There might be some other special services that I don't know about, but I can't be bothered to look through those. So there you go. And now for the SC4-2, which for some reason is rated YN2, even though you don't have the YN3 version. I've also noticed that the San Patrick version does actually substitute into this route. It's only at Stamford, so there you go. And you do get some services. They actually explained these in the New York Stamford live stream that they did, or that Dovetail did. Yeah, it's basically like a day in the life of you know, CSX engineisms. Yeah, I get part 1, part 2, basically a bunch of shunting services and stuff like that. So, yeah. So that's which is pretty cool. As far as the layers, of course, I have everything installed as well. Actually, let me check. Yeah, 28 layers. I think. Let me see. Yeah, pretty sure every single layer is installed. Yeah. In terms of layers that exist, there aren't actually that many. Of course, the Acela, of course, layers in. The Harlem Line stock layers as well. The M7 and the M3 for Harlem Line services. And New Jersey Transit layers in as well. And actually, for here, you can either do the Near Trenton and the Morristown versions of these. So, yeah, if you have either Morristown or Near Trenton, you can do these services, which is pretty cool. We'll start with the Acela. So that's pretty typical. It's really just Stamford to Penn services. Nothing really special here. Yeah, Washington, D.C. to Boston services, or Boston, Washington. There is one data service, though, which is interesting. But, that's pretty much it otherwise. So, yeah. Yeah, so you get a bunch of Acela service you can do. As far as the M7 Retro North, you can do Harlem Line service as well from Grand Central to Fordham, or wherever the line splits off. Somewhere around here-ish. Yeah, right about here, something like that. Yeah, so you do get your services that go to places like Bunny Garden or whatever. Yeah, basically these are the Harlem Line services on this route. And you also get Hudson Line services as well, which go to Yankees 153, which also, of course, was also on the Harlem Line route, but it's been here again. It's here again as well, so you can do very brief Harlem Line services as well. And I think as far as the M7, that's pretty much it. I think there are some special services as well here, though, but I don't know what those are. But yeah, otherwise it's mostly just the regular Harlem Line, Hudson Line services. So yeah, you have those. I think same is also true for the M3 as well. I think the M3 literally substitutes into the M7. So yeah, same stuff here. But what are things going to see the emergency transit equipment? So we'll do the P46. Now, there's not many services with this, but services that do exist are interesting. So Penn Station to Sunnyside Yard, that's pretty typical. But you also get deaded services from Penn Station to Stamford, so it is actually possible to drive the emergency transit equipment as far as Stamford and Timetable. I don't think there's that many. Yeah, I think it's mainly Penn Station to Sunnyside Yard services. Do they really know there are Stamford services, though? Oh. Oh, yeah, there we go. The Football Extra from Penn to Stamford. Ah, there you go. Secaucus New Haven. There you go. So yeah, you can do transit runs, which is pretty cool. I like that. I think the same is true for the cab car as well. Is this the same timetable though? Oh no. Yeah, it's similar, but it's different. Yeah, okay. So there you go. And that's a review of the timetable then. Pretty diverse timetable, a lot of different services, so yeah, a lot to do on this route. But for today, we're going to be doing the M3, or the M8 and the A664. We're going to do the M8 on a local service from Grand Central to Stamford, and then we'll do the A664 from Stamford to New York Penn, and then that'll be it for this live stream. Alright then, well, I'm going to take a little break, and I'll take a little beat break, and then we will get started. Alright, I am back, and yes, I take a break already because my bladder is terrible. Otherwise, I think we're pretty much all set. Yep. Yeah, still nobody watching at the moment. Well, there's one person watching apparently too. Okay, whatever. Alright, it's enough messing around. Let's get on to it. Okay, so, yep, everything else set. Alright, let's do this. So, M8, of course, and we're going to start with service number 1326, which is a Grand Central to Stamford service. Do this in June, clear weather, some clouds, and let's get to it. Okay, so, here we go then. New York, Stamford. Yeah, there's Metro Rival still coming soon, and there's Wonders of Sodor, Sowus, which I have played, by the way. I'm gonna talk about that in this live stream. But well, it's all the rage. We have this route to play, so yeah, there you go. There's your there's all the remasters they've done over the past couple of months. All remasters. Although Konaken is not really remastered, but there you go. Alright, let's get started. So, can't put the cursor. No, gotta put the key in. And those have double-sided doors. Okay, that counts. Put it into max brakes. We can build the brake pressure. And turn on the lights. And marker lights. Marker lights still on? No, marker lights are off. Okay, that's good. Alright. And yeah, since the local service, we have a full stop. We have Harlem. Actually, I'll probably do the announcements. Oh yeah, there's also the Stamford tracks. We can go to the yard and then complete the service. Also, there's a M7 appearance. Also, apparently we're on the lower level of Grand Central, which apparently is like a new thing. Which is funny, because I actually didn't even know there was a lower level of Grand Central. I thought there was just the one, but apparently there are 2 levels of Grand Central. I can see it here on the map. Oh yeah, it's kind of messed up. So, yeah, that's fun, isn't it? Here's a quick look at the full route map, by the way. I'll show you this in more detail when we get on the road here, but yeah, there's a full map for now. Another thing of note is the safety systems are forced on once again like they were in the Long Island Railroad, because of course this is a Metro North add-on. There is a mod to turn the safety systems off, but I'm actually leaving them on because I actually did get some practice in with the system the other night to make sure I knew what to expect. Now it's not entirely like the ACT system on like the M7 and stuff like that, or the Long Island Railroad stuff. So let's see how this turns out then. Just close the doors here. There you go. Oh, we got the buzzer. Cool.
This is the train to Stamford. The next station is Harlan 125th Street.
Okay, no list of the stops then. Alright, well, that's fine. Alright. You got my water as well, so I can lubricate my throat. Hope the game isn't too loud, by the way. I think it'll be fine. That's our first, I guess, first alarm. Goes to suspension as well. I think I'll have to save some energy. Alright. So this is apparently the lower level, I guess. I think the upper level does exist in this game, but I'm not trying to get to it. I might have to do some messing around with free roam or something. I don't know. Alright, come on, mouse. There we go. But like I said, system's forced on in this. I'm gonna leave them on just for realism. I wish I had some eyes to look at the my live stream and everything. But from what I can tell, everything is going alright, so yeah. Yeah, I noticed the audio well, it's kind of loud on my end, but from what I can tell by the OBS sound levels, but I did the A64 stream, or the A64, but I did the New York New Haven stream. You know, the other stream I did the other week. All that was fine, so yeah. So I'm just gonna leave the volumes where they're at. And hope that I don't watch the stream back later and realize, oh, everything's too loud. Anyways, I guess talk about some stuff then. Regarding this route then. So this is my first ever time driving the MA, by the way. I've had no practice with this unit whatsoever. Which I've done that on purpose because I wanted to sort of surprise myself. I could have done a test service with this thing, but I wanted to essentially save my reactions for this live stream. I wanted to, you know, down the route, just get some stuff in and then drive the route in full on the live stream. Which is what we're doing now. So as far as like the access system, again, I have tried to practice it with other trains, but from what I noticed, I think this one works a little more like the standard access system. So, yeah, so this is something that I've noticed has been talked about in the community. So, yeah, so starting with the Long Island Railroad remastered route thing that they released a couple years ago, Metro North actually wanted Dovetail to have the stage systems forced on because I guess there was some stuff going on where some people were stealing Metro North trains, and so they wanted it for this game that the stage systems would be forced on so that people wouldn't know how to do this in real life and stuff like that, which I don't know if that's really made any difference, but as a consequence here in Train Sim World, the stage system is forced on and the more recent Metro North stuff, although it is not forced on the older stuff though, like the Harlem Line or the original Long Island Railroad routes. Those actually still have the stage systems off by default. You can have to turn those on, but starting with Long Island Railroad and then this, or starting with Long Island Railroad Remastered and then this, the stage systems are forced on. Which, ooh, we can accelerate. Yes, speed. Alright. These are the motors. Not sure if those motor sounds are accurate, but I know they couldn't actually get the real recordings of the real sounds. Because Metro is strict about these things, so yeah. Oh, there you go then. Yeah. Now, I had played with Access on though with some of the other trains though, but this is one of those trains where you have to lower the brake to a certain percentage, or increase the brake to a certain percentage to silence the alarms. So we're gonna see how that works here in this timetable scenario. Maybe it won't be that big of a problem. I don't know. We'll see. Again, I haven't driven this thing yet until now, so we're gonna see how I fare with the access system in this thing first time. Which might be the best idea, but it is what it is. We're on the upper level, by the way. We're now in the tunnel, departing Central here. By the way, apparently this was set in the year 2015. By the way, what's the timetable set? Oh, 2020. Okay, well that must be an error. Yeah, 45. But that was a set speed limit, so that's not really a thing. It's mainly when you run to like yellows. That's when things get a bit challenging. But I have an idea of what to expect, so I'm gonna be ready for it. Yep, everything is good. Yep, nobody's hit at the moment, so I'm basically doing this by myself. But hopefully, maybe someone will turn up. Okay, so I'm doing the dual stream again, so maybe somebody will show up at some point, but we'll see what happens. Alright, finally we're outside. We're about to be outside. Yes, alright, look at that. It's daylight. Alright. And yeah, of course, this is, of course, reused from the Harlem. I think it has had some updates, so we'll see what the updates look like. Oh yeah, first sounds of the horn. Sounds a little different from the M7. Yeah, it sounds alright. I'm surprised they didn't just reuse the M7 horn. I suppose that is realistic. Okay, now I'm gonna turn the game volume down a little bit because it is a bit louder than I thought it was gonna be. Let's turn it down to about 10. 10. There we go. There's a outside. That's better. Oh, huh, that's interesting. Max speed's going on to 40, but it hasn't... Huh. Maybe because we're on the break. Well, that was nothing. But people were complaining, saying, oh, it's so difficult. Are you sure? Okay, maybe I don't want to get too cocky here, because maybe at some point in this journey I'm going to get myself handed to me. But we'll see. Here I'm on 125th Street. Oh, I forgot to go inside the announcement. Alright, stop.
This station is Harlem 125th Street. This is the train to Stamford. The next station is Fordham.
Alright. I'm going to be outside for most of this scenario, for this live stream, because I want to take a look at the route and stuff. A little bit later, arriving at Harlem, hopefully we'll make up the time at the next stations. Alright, onwards. Alright. We're going to 35 though, so... Oh, we'll get the roasting on this route. Huh. Is that a new feature, though? That they added recently? I feel like the roasting wasn't there until the Great West Express Remaster. Here's the big bridge. Okay, we're gonna have to see how the axe system reacts when we get to like a yellow or something. Oh, hang on, there's a train there. See, I'm 3! Yes, how about that? To get his headlights turned on the rear. Yeah, I don't know. We're gonna have to see how the axe system plays when we get to like a yellow or something, because so far it's really not a bit. Okay, okay. I should probably stop talking though, because I say this now, and then we encounter things that, oh, mercy break up case and things is wrong. But let's see what happens. Oops. Actually, some parts of the route, the access speed limit is actually higher than the line speed limit, so that's something. Anyway, yeah, here's the branch that goes to Yankees. Of course, by extension is also the Hudson line. Accelerate a bit. Yeah, maybe the game a bit too loud, but at least not turn it down so you can actually hear me talk. That's another train somewhere. Oh, it's an M7. Huh, that's an M7 coming from the Hudson line. Looks like we're skipping a few stations here, though. Another M8. A lot of traffic like that. Yeah, I think it's now a bit busier than it was on the Harlem line, because of course Harlem line you only had the M3 and M7, but now we have the M8 in this route. So yeah, so I mean at this point, in terms of Metro North equipment, the only thing we're missing now is the P32 West Ruler coaches, but as far as multiple units, we have all 3 of them now. One by Metro North. Oh, a 6-car contest as well, which is pretty typical. Okay, well, I guess in terms of electric multiple units, we have all the ones that are in service with Metro North right now. The M3, M7, and M8. But the M2s and M4s, though, which of course are older, are not in this game. Of course, it's under service. Although, maybe they'll consider adding them down the line. Because I think if Delta want to make the M2 and M4, they could probably use the M3 as a base and then go off of that. Maybe. Hey, there's a box for sitting idle. How about that? Okay, if I could tell, no major difference between this and the Harman version. Well, maybe they're okay. Maybe I'm just blind. But nice F6 now with the newer Top 4 lighting as opposed to the older Top 3 lighting in Harlem Line. That's stuttery. Yeah. In case you're new here, I am playing this on a supercomputer, by the way. I am playing this on a computer that is more than capable enough of running this game, so... You know, before you say, hey, you're not a good enough computer. Well, you know what? This is Train Sim Cult. Which is known for being a bit stuttery. Even when we're on a high computer. Anyway, now approaching Fordham. There we get there. Way ahead of schedule, actually. Good. It makes a little bit too quick, actually. Let's go to the cab. Another M8. All right. Is this guy? What's sort of Xeon? Let's say, oh, you're coming back from Stamford. Cool. I think these are actually automatic. I wonder what express service would be like though with this thing. I did actually think about doing an express service for this live stream, but I figured it's better if I do a local because I want to, I want to take a look at the states and stuff like that, and I also have a service that actually ends in Stamford, make it a bit more realistic. All right, Mount Vernon. Does it have to go full throttle this thing, by the way? Yeah, it doesn't accelerate that fast. Albert, is that the last station before the split off? Oh no! We're actually already about to split off from this line. Okay, cool. Alright. Nice, so not too far from now we'll be on new territory. Yes! Alright. Shut up, train. Okay, cool. So yeah, we're about to enter the junction where the line splits off, and then we're on brief like M8 only territory before we get to the this corridor. Those the Amtrak trains. Yes. Looking forward to that. still no one in chat, so. Oh well. Suspension. I know it's supposed to be this game for a while now, but I still like looking at it because it looks cool. Alright, full power. Ah, here we go. Yellow's coming up. This will be fun. Alright. Okay, it's supposed to be yellow, so I think we'll go down to 60. Like I said, I've never done this route yet, so we're gonna have to see what the access speed limits are gonna be. Let me try and slow down before them because, you know, to avoid that stupid braking thing. Okay, see what happens here. Oh. Down to 45. Okay. Oh. What the heck? I slowed down for the speed limit. Oh. Okay, I take back what I said earlier about the system being easy then. I guess I should have not said it. Oh well, that happens sometimes. Yeah, okay, I don't know what happened there. I slowed down to the 45 and it applied the emergency brake. Okay, good to know then. Alright, well that's our first emergency brake application. Hopefully the only one, but let's see what happens here. It's gonna be 30 or something. Nope, still 45. Okay. Take some speed then. Alrighty, we're about to leave the Northeast Corridor. I mean, not Northeast Corridor. Leave the North line. Onwards to the Northeast Corridor. Alright. 45. Oh, this part's cool. I guess I do know how to change the power modes, as I did our practice run at least with that yesterday. So it's really the access system I'm not 100% familiar with yet, so I'm gonna have to see how that goes for the rest of this service. Well, we're officially on new territory now. Which of course is the is there a name for this line? I actually have no idea. You're approaching Mount Vernon. Ah! Pelham power changeover. Okay, so when we hit that VM marker, that's when we're gonna have to change power mode. That's when we're gonna okay, well look, despite the immersive brake application, we're arrived at Mount Vernon very early, so yeah. So I don't know how many more immersive brake applications we're gonna get, but at least the timetable is very forgiving. I'm gonna have to get some practice with that though, I think. reaching Mount Vernon. Person walking up the platform, and we just ran over a person. Good job, Train Symbols. Okay, no announcement for arriving at the station. Okay, that's weird. I was like, this is Mount Vernon. But no announcement like that. Okay. Well, here's Mount Vernon East then. Yep. In terms of Mercy Break, or in terms of what's coming next, I think. Okay, we'll see what's going to New Rochelle, and then I think between there and Stamford, we'll see what happens there. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I wasn't sure what to do there. Maybe I had it right because I did silence the alarm once, but then I think because I got a little bit. Oh yeah, that's what happened. I got complacent. I was slowing down. I silenced the alarm, but then fell outside the braking curve, and then that's why by the Mercy break. Oh, that's probably what happened. Okay, well, I'll keep that in mind for next time. Good to know. Because, I don't know, I thought that maybe the system works exactly the same way as it does on the Long Island Railroad Remastered route. Although not entirely. Wait, did I say... Come on, Dovetail. Okay, you're probably wondering what I'm looking at here. This says 12:04 a.m. Does it look like it's 12:04 a.m.? No, it's 12:04 p.m. How did they mess that up? Dovetail Games, ladies and gentlemen. Alrighty, onwards to Pelham. Before we do the power changeover. Yeah, that'll be cool. Alright. In case you get the Dead Man's hand, I'll go up as, or Dead Man's alarm will go up as well, but yeah. Yeah, there's another yellow coming up. That'll be fun. Oh, now we're fishing overhead territory. Approaching the station. Oh, that's the end of third rail territory. Except we're approaching the station though, so that's kind of stupid. Oh. As Transit should do the emergency brake application anyways. Thank you. Alright. Well, I was going to bring some stuff about the station, but I guess the train decided to stop itself then. Alright. Pan up. Breast. There we go. Thank you, train. Okay, that was stupid. It just applied the emergency brake for no reason. Why? Because it didn't do the power changeover when I was supposed to? Also... Okay, I'm gonna say that's kind of stupid. I have to do it right before the station, though. Like, wouldn't it make more sense to bring the train to a stop at the station, then do the power changeover? No, you must do the power changeover and stop at the same time. That is stupid. Sort of station on time. I don't know. Is that realistic? Or do they just have to go to slower speed or something? I'm not sure. Yeah, no, because yeah, you do get like a brief time of like overhead and then third rail, but I don't know. Wouldn't it be more efficient to just bring the train to a stop at the station, then do the power changeover? I don't know. To be fair, in the live stream, they did actually do the power changeover while on the move, and I probably should have done the same, but I was already slowing down for the station, so I was like, I thought to myself, okay, I'll bring it to a stop and then do the power changeover, but I guess if you do that, the train just applies the emergency brakes, so. Okay, what's this now? Where's the... Oh, there we go.
3. Repeat. The 12:11
hello.
p.m. train to Grand Central Terminal will arrive on track 3.
Is there a station announcement? Also going to the yellow. It's gonna reduce our speed. Yeah, 45. Okay, we're all going below 45 anyway, so that's fine. Okay. So, I think the MH takes some training then. I was thinking to myself, oh, I understand why people were saying it's so difficult now, but I think he's gonna just learn the M8, you know? Like do some practice runs, train yourself on this thing, and then eventually you'll get it right. You know, it's a learning exercise, pretty much. Like, once you've done a few serves on this route and you know this thing well, then it's not a problem. Like just now. There's another M8. Here we are, New Rochelle. So now we're linking up with the Northeast Corridor. Yeah, another yellow. Is that gonna slow me down? No. Something I noticed about with the yellow is that it doesn't immediately trigger. That's what this quarter. Like when you go past the yellow. Oh, never mind. Okay, but do we have to go down to 15 miles an hour, though? Really? That can't be realistic. I think it's because of the signal, the red that's coming up. Oh. Oh, game's freezing up. Come on. Up. Wow. Okay, that was a heck of a lag spike, wasn't it? Didn't get the okay, I guess I can't look backwards anymore. Okay. Okay, so yeah, cruising to Rochelle at the speed of a snail. Even though I don't think we have to, or maybe this is realistic. I don't know. Oh, this is a new model, or they just reused an old model from NEC New York. Unfortunately, I'm gonna look at it though, because we have to, you know, we're late. Oh, we're gonna come back by here again, then we'll do the Amtrak service on the way back to Penn, so that's fine.
This station is New Rochelle. This is the train to Stamford. The next station is Larchmont.
That's up to the announcement. Alright, so what's this place look like? Yeah, I think this might be a new model. It does look quite a bit different from the Near Trenton or near version. It's a Larchmont. Yeah. So, I mean, the MA isn't that hard to drive with the safety systems on. Just kind of guys got to do some training and then you'll get it right. Speeding. Hey, it was pretty cool though. That hey, because this is near to Stamford, we get to keep going. Yeah, on New York, let's go to New York. Once we got to New Rochelle, that was the end of the journey. But here we can go further. Yes. Alrighty then. Yeah, Larchmont is indeed next. And yeah, we're now officially on the Northeast Corridor, so it's only until we see an Amtrak train. That was a national train, though. Express. Ooh, it's a long one as well, 8 coaches. Okay, approaches were quite a ways out of schedule, so. But I'm pretty cool not to be on the Northeast Corridor section of this line. So it's a van of the Northeast Corridor. What's the Amtrak train though? Goes here well ahead of schedule.
Larchmont. This is the train to Stamford. The next station is Mamaroneck.
Oh, that's the station. Also, yeah, I got the guy for a brief second there to look at the thingy. I forgot. Oh, wait, announcement. Here's Larchmont. Alright, well, you know what? Since we're here, I'm gonna do some discussions here because there's some things I need to say about this route in terms of what's released at its price. So the release development was a little bit of a it was difficult, right? Because initially they were going to do a pre-resume for this route last Monday. Ooh, that's a solo. They were doing a pre-resume for this route last Monday, but then that stream got postponed because of a breaking issue with the M8. And so they ended up doing a long stay stream on the same day as the day this route came out. Okay, I'm gonna stop here because they saw it coming. Yeah! How about it? That's pretty cool with the rail singing. They're a bit late, but it's okay. As we found out, the timetable is very forgiving on this route. But yeah, they were just going to do a preview stream on this route on last Monday. But then that stream got postponed because of apparently a braking issue with this train, the M8. But then they ended up doing a long stage stream on, they did a stream on the same day this route came out, which kind of threw me into a loop because I was wondering, okay, what am I gonna do, right? Because I always think, okay, what am I gonna do about the Northeast Corridor New York stream, right? Because I wanted to do the Northeast Corridor New York stream, before this route came out, and initially I wanted to like a week before, but I didn't have an exact idea when this route was coming out, and so I ended up doing the NEC New York stream the day before this route came out. And I was also thinking about actually doing my own long stage stream of this route, but because of everything that happened, I ended up waiting until today to do the stream, but oh well. Here we are. And let's talk about the price, because apparently this route costs $45 US, which makes this the most expensive route add-on for Train Sim World. So, I don't know where your local currency is, right? But typically, new routes in Train Sim World cost $40, $40 US, right? So 40 USD. And that's how it's been for quite a few years, actually. Because I actually remember way back in the Train Sim World 1 and 2 eras, the routes in those games actually costed $30, 30 USD. Right? But then with Train Sim World 3, they increased the price to $40, probably because of inflation. But they've kept that price since then. And then someone actually asked on Reddit, why is this like a premium route with like a premium price? And I was like, what? And I checked the price, and I was like, oh, $45? So that begs the question, why is this about $45? Because I'm sorry, this route is absolutely not worth $45. Let's come to stop here, by the way, so I can explain my point here. Ooh, right on the money.
This station is Mamaroneck. This is the train to Stamford. The next station is Harrison.
Alright. Anyways. So it's like, hang on. So, yeah, this route is $45 on the Steam store. I think it's, well, Steam store. I think it's $45 everywhere. USD. And I saw that. I was like, why is this about $45? Because again, this route is not worth $45 because there's only one new train, the M8. Everything else is reused. You know, like everything else I showed at the beginning of this live stream is reused from other routes, right? A64 and Amphiletes has been recycled multiple different times, and the CSX and Freight Equipment has also been recycled from other freight routes like St. Patrick's Gate and others. So, I don't know. I saw this route, was like, why is $45? And even in terms of route length, it's not that big. You know, it's the route from Grand Central and then New York Penn, and then they can join it at New Rochelle, and then we'll go to Stamford. It's not that much of the route. I mean, you're gonna see when we get to a little bit of ways to go to Stamford, but you know, the only reason why I think it's only to get to Stamford is because we have all these stops to make. Otherwise, we're doing an express service, but this is go much quicker. So it's like, why is it about $45? And really, why is it about $45? What makes this route deserve to cost $5 more than your typical route for Train Sim World these days? It doesn't make any sense to me. You know? And I tell you, it's having a whole new train, because all they really had to do was just one coach here, right? Like they did the front coach or whatever, the back coach, whatever, and then they did the other version with some cosmetic modifications and stuff, right? So I don't think that much development would have had to go into the M8. And like I said, everything else is reused. So why the price? Makes no sense to me. I don't even think the rate of inflation has gone up that much in more recent years. So. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It makes no sense to me. Why is this route so expensive? I mean, okay, none of this is relevant to me because I, of course, powered this route like I do with everything else to do with Train Sim Worlds. But someone who does actually have to buy this route, I don't know, man. It's a lot of money for a route that with not a lot in it. Side a little bit.
This station is Harrison. This is the train to Stamford. The next station is Rye.
I mean, let's say if we did get more, right? Like, let's say if they built the route all the way to New Haven, or let's say if they just did the new Canaan branch that branches off from Stamford, right? Maybe a bit more worth it, or maybe if they included another train, like maybe they decided to also include the P32 with shoreliners or something, because that also runs on this route. You know. But no, the only new train here is the M8. And you only get the route as far as Stamford, so it's like, I don't know. I don't know what dubs we're playing at here. It's like, I don't know. It's train symbolisms, I guess. I mean, again, I'm not too bothered about the price. Okay, I know I said not too bothered. I mean, it doesn't matter to me because I don't have to pay for this route. You know, I of course powered it because, again, I'm not going to spend money on this game. But, you know, for someone who might choose to buy this or someone who maybe doesn't know how to pirate and wants a route, it's going to be a lot of money, you know. Anyway, Rye. Yeah, I don't understand the logic here, so whatever. But it's Dovetail game, so really I shouldn't question it because I'm never gonna get a straight answer. Oh well. So is Cost Cobb on this route? It is. Oh yeah, because Cost Cobb, that's that station where there's a bridge where there's no overhead wires, so you have to coast over it. There's actually a video about that, by the way, the curious case of Cost Cobb. I forget who made it, but yeah, it's just a curious case of Cost Cobb. If you want to learn about that. And so that is on this route. Springer's glitching out. Typical. We're not accelerating. What the heck? Oh. We're not applying enough power, that's why. So the train. Alrighty, welcome to Rye.
This station is Rye. This is the train to Stamford. The next station is Port Chester.
Also, this is called Rye, by the way. This name always stood out to me from, you know, this conversation on the New York to Haven route. Rye. Yeah, yomola. Yeah, by the way, New York to Haven was actually the first ever ride I drove in Train Sim Classic because I got Train Simulator 2015 as my first iteration of that game. And because I'm a diehard Acela fan, I chose to drive the Acela on this route as my first ever quick drive scenario. Yeah. Alright, Port Chester. Tornado coming up. Alright, we're good on the yellow coming up though, so we'll see how that goes. Another 45 before we get to the yellow. Is it gonna satisfy the system? Yes, it is.
Old Greenwich and Stamford.
Alright.
This station is Port Chester. This is the train to Stamford. The next station is Greenwich.
Alright. Pretty busy road here. I guess we'll talk about some other life stuff while we're here. Not much more to say. I not much of a chance to talk about this in my NEC New York stream, but yeah, my life is hasn't changed very much. My financial situation is still not great because I don't have the time to, you know, get on it. I've been actually busy with a lot of YouTube stuff lately. This has been a pretty busy month in terms of YouTube content. You know, like the reason why I'm doing fewer uploads this year is because I want to give myself more time to focus on other things. But ironically, this particular month has been so busy with YouTube content, I haven't had the time to do that. So yeah. Good news is I don't have much planned after this week. So yeah, once we get to next week, I do plan on getting back to my money-making mission. Ooh, an express metro train. How about it? Yeah, Yeah, a lot of 6 or 8 car trains. I think there might be some 10 car trains, but I think maybe those only run during rush hour. Alrighty, Greenwich, which it's funny. I always thought was Greenwich, but no. Apparently, the other E and the W is silent, so it's just Greenwich. Because you know how much of a mess the English language is. Just words where you have letters that don't even make any sounds. Look, that's Greenwich. Ironically, we also have a place called Greenwich here in Rhode Island, where I live. I actually drive through there on my way down to Kingston. How many more stops by this? So we have, oh. There are a few actually. Okay. I actually wonder what the length is of this part of the route from New Rochelle to Stamford. I think it's like 15 miles. Might be more like 20 miles. I guess I might have underestimated this. This route. Interesting. Well, maybe we'll get a better idea when we do the E664 service. So I'm kind of looking forward to it because I'll be honest, I don't really like these stop start services that much. And again, I thought about doing a express service for this live stream, but I figured, it's better to do it local because, you know, Mexico is the whole route. Still no one in chat about it. I've been doing this stream for nearly an hour and a half, so. Yeah. Well, that's why I don't do live streams very often. Because hardly anyone watches them. I think also maybe because I'm streaming a route which doesn't have much intrigue at this point, because pretty much everyone and their mother has done either videos or streams on this route at this point, with it being a new one, so yeah.
This station is Greenwich. This is the train to Stamford. The next station is Coscob.
And actually, because so people usually tune to these live streams, that's why I like to have the boys on with me in a call, you know. And again, I thought about doing that for this live stream as well, with the NEC New York stream, but like I mentioned in that stream, I've also changed his work schedule, so now he can't be on the streams for now, and I don't know what we do about that in the future. But at least for now, yeah, it basically means I can't have Russell on. He's wondering where the others are at. Well, there's also Andre, who I like to have on whenever possible. I think he's currently busy. You know, his current shift schedule is also, you know, makes it that he can't be here either. And there's Hoobie, and Hoobie is one I could have brought on this live stream, but I said not to because he's kind of insane. So, yeah, it doesn't really add much to this live stream anyway, so yeah, not having him doesn't really change much, so, yeah. Oh, well. So maybe you're wondering then, well, why bother with these streams then? Well, because it's kind of a tradition on this channel, though, where every time like a Northeast corridor or some sort of Northeast route comes out, I like to do a live stream on it because it's like a great occasion, you know? Okay, we have a yellow here. So what's the new speed limit going to be then? $45. Okay. Oh. Okay. Is there a braking curve marker or something? Second emergency brake. Okay, I might actually have to get a mod for the for that. Because that is dumb. Interesting. There is a model that does disable the alarm or the system, so I'm gonna have to test those out. When I get the chance, maybe. Because I wasn't expecting that.
This station
A little bit
is
off, but,
Coscob. This is the train to Stamford. The next station is Riverside.
Oh, but the next station is literally right across the river. Why? No, here's the difficulty with this train, right? So, in most trains with access in this game, right, like the A64, HP46, CLP, whatever, there's a specific setting you can go into, right, to silence the alarm. So, and that's like suppression, right? So let's say if the access goes off in the A64 or the Acela, for example. In that event, you put the brake handle into suppression to suppress the alarm, and that's it. And then once you get both the speed limit, you can then release the brake, and then that's that. The problem with the M8 is that... Oh, by the way, we're going to have this feature with the... Oh, there it is. As a solo, how about that? Oh, it's very brief, though, I've noticed. Huh. Interesting. And next thing's already right there. How about it? As an Acela now, chasing us. I want to see the Acela. I love the Acela. In case you didn't know, that's my favorite train in the world. There he is. And for some reason his doors are open. How about that? Yeah, we were such slightly, but oh, I was more focused on the Acela. But anyway, no. So what I was getting at is, most trains you have suppression, and then you put the brake into suppression to suppress the alarm, and then that's that. The thing is with the M8 is that I don't know what the recommended brake setting is to silence the alarm, right? Like I put it into like I put on just enough brake to silence the alarm, but also not brake too slowly, right? But that's the second time now I've had the brakes the immersive brakes come on, despite the I don't understand. It's so stupid. And that's what I was concerned about, right? Because I did a practice run with the M9 on the Long Island Railroad route, the Long Island Railroad Remastered route, right? I did that. But the access system in that route is more forgiving, where you... I think in that one, the alarm literally just goes off, and then you apply the brake, and that's it. And I think same is even true of the Metro North M7 with Harlem Line. I tried that one as well. That one works, I think, in a similar way. And they have this version of access where you have to... Well, it works more like how access is supposed to work, right? Where you put the throttle, or you put the brake to a certain percentage to stay ahead of the braking curve, and then once you're below the speed limit, then you can release the brake. But, I don't know, I guess I'm not braking too fiercely enough, so... And I don't really like that, so I think I'm gonna have to do some testing where I, figure out then what's the, what mod should I go with then for this thing? Because I don't like that system out worse. I'll put it with it for this live stream, but yeah, whenever I do this in my spare time, I'm definitely gonna try out those mods and which is what I like the best. If someone did make a mod that silences the alarm, or that safety system, well, there's one mod which keeps the alarm on but disables the penalty brake system. And there's one that does both. There's one that gets rid of the penalty brake application and also makes it so the alarm doesn't go off. I kind of want to keep the alarm on, but not have the immersive brake application. So again, I'm going to test this out in my spare time and see which one I like. I figured I would just do a bonus select for this live stream because again, I want to see how it is. And, well, now I know how it is. It's a bit of a mess. Alright, well, Greenwich. Oops, stop. There, good enough.
This station is Old Greenwich. This is the train to Stamford. The next station is Stamford.
Okay, we're getting an M8. Bye. Cool. There's an express service. Is that a 6 or an 8 car one? Oh, 6 car. It's on its way to New Haven. How about it? Oh, there's a rumble. Can you hear that rumble, by the way? I just have no idea what that is. And yeah, Stamford is next. Oh, thank goodness. I don't know, I'm getting kind of tired, which I should. I do like all the Metro North trains and stuff like that, and you know, but I don't know. I guess driving them is a bit more of a faff. Also, wait, hold on. I just realized something else. Apparently, we're gonna get there at 12:52. The station's literally right there. Oh, there's my. Oh, look at that! It's a new Canaan train. Yeah, there's the new Canaan branch, and there's Northeast Corridor to Boston. Nice. Oh, I gotta lock the doors. Well, apparently we're not gonna get there till 12:52 anyway. So, what gives? Yeah. Okay. That's weird. Oh, we have to sit there for that long as well because we gotta do that and then unload the passengers and then go to the hill, the yard. Oh, fun! So they're gonna make me arrive at Stamford and then just sit there for 10 minutes or however long. Because reasons. Thank you so much. Oh well. And more signals coming up. Alright, this time I'm gonna make sure to slam on the brakes even harder then. Although we have all the time to get there anyway, so if we get an emergency brake application, it doesn't really matter. But I don't want another one. I want to find out what braking application do you have to hit in order for the alarm to not do a penalty brake application. Let's see. Okay, 45. No, here's the thing though. I would rather not do that. I would rather just be at the speed by the time we get to the signal though, right? That's another thing. Because no, the way that you really should do this is you want to be at the signal speed limit before you even get to the signal. Which is what I actually try to do here as well. But the problem is I don't know what the signal speed is for any of these, so yeah, I'm trying to learn this on the fly. Which is a mistake. Oh well. Oh, we'll go, and yeah, lights clear as well, so we can just put right into Stamford, and yeah, so we're fine. Another yellow here. Is that for the 30? Yes, it is. Now I'm assuming we're going to go down to 15 here. I'm not sure if it's 15, but again, I'm trying to guess here because I don't want to get another application or another penalty break. Also, I see a Sulla still stuck there. Oh, well, I'm glad not this guy. Okay, no slowdown here. Okay, so we'll slow it a bit then. It's not crawling along here. Yeah, that Sulla's idling for some reason. Whoa, here we are at Stamford. So that is the entirety of the Metro North. Really? Oh, that's cute. I knew there was a 15 coming up, and it didn't come until I got to the platform. Thank you. What I was saying. So yeah, that is the full Metro North line from Grand Central to Stamford. And yeah. Alright, then Stamford is the last stop for this service. Here, unlock both doors. Oh, this is leaving now. This is departing for Boston. At some point in time. Oh, I might open the doors again because yeah, he's not doing his thing. Also, this guy here who's going back to. Oh, it's the new Cannon train. Cool. And oh, these trains are sitting idle. Oh, they'll go back to Grand. Oh, interesting. There he goes. And there she goes. And I believe the Metro Station is going to pull up here in a bit. Oh, it's AM again. Wait, that says AM. This says PM. Duffto games, ladies and gentlemen. They got bumpers both sides. That's neat. I've also noticed others are going to go back to Grand Central at some point. It's going to go into Boston. Boston's apart for a while, so I'm wondering how long would this train have to wait before going back to Grand Central? Oh, we're going to find out. Ah, here comes the Metro North. And he's on his way to New Haven. We got another couple minutes before we can close the doors and head to the yard. Some operating around. We're gonna get a better look at the yard in a little bit. But... Nah. New Haven. You know what's cute? If you got the original version as well over in Transcend Classic, you could go to New Haven. But no, and that's why you're gonna go as far as Stamford, because Dovetail Games. I'll probably even go play the Transcend Classic version as well, since, you know, this route, see, it's a thing. And for some reason, this train makes no noise on departure. There's no more noises. Okay, 36, we can finally leave. There's still people getting off my train. There's people trying to get on my train. What are you doing? This train's not in service anymore. Man, I doubt they're ever gonna fix the bad NPCs in this game, or they leave them broken forever. Right. And now to the yard. I'm also curious to know then how long until we could do like a service with this train back to Grand Central. Because I said in the beginning of the stream like, oh, you can go backwards and forwards, stuff like that. But do you have a very long layover before then, or is it like a 10-minute layover? We're gonna find out. What's all the shoes are down? Is that realistic? Oh, there's another Great North train. Oh, we're back to Grand Central. Oh, it's a 10-car set. How about it? I think 10 cars mostly go on with the MH. I don't think that there's a 12-car set. Maybe there is. I don't know. Oh, here's Stamford Yard. This is pretty cool. And there we have it. Alright, ooh, platinum medal, how about that? 33 miles. Okay, that's a bit further than I thought. It's not exactly groundbreaking though, so... Yeah, and by the way, how long until the next service? Oh. Oh. Hmm. Okay. Am I the other one here? Yes, you are. You're the first person to say anything in this live stream in the whole hour. No, nearly 2 hours I've been doing this stream now. Alright, so yeah, server scheduled for... Yeah, okay, so then we have to wait a while, or you can just... Yeah, okay, so... I guess you can't... I mean, you could do services from Grand Central to Stamford and back, but you have to wait either a really long time, or you have to go back into the menu so you can do different service. So, yeah. Alright, well, on to the ACS 64. Which is just a bit. Okay, so first things first, though, I need to take another bathroom break. Maybe a bit longer this time because I have to refill my water bottle. Menu though. All right. Okay, I'll be back in a couple of minutes, and then we will do the next service. And I'm back. Alright. So, on to the next service of the day. And which will be the last one for this live stream. A64, of course, with the Stamford version. And we're doing... let's see. We are doing... train number 93. The North Regional from Boston to Richmond. How about that? Richmond, Virginia. Do this, and yeah, okay, and we'll do driver, obviously. God mode, that would be interesting, but no, you can't even see the scenery that way. Anyway, I'm not taking a bathroom break and also refill my water bottle, so yeah, we're good to go for this service. I thought this actually would actually be shorter than the NEC New York stream, but it might actually end up being a bit longer. Okay, handle in. Open the doors. This has to be in. Is that correct? I'm not sure actually. I think it's supposed to be passenger. I guess we'll find out when we depart here. Otherwise, I think that's everything set up. Oh, I said... Oh. I hope it was on the wrong side. I realized what side their doors were on. Anyway. We're about the same as it's always been. Oh, well. And yeah, we'll have 200 stops at Newark Shell and Penn, so this will be much more relaxing journey than one we just did with the M8. What's the cons like, by the way? So we have, yeah, coach class. But did they ever correct the... Yeah, they did actually. Business class at the end. Nice job. Alrighty then. Oh, I have to take the Discord in a while. What's happening in there? Oh, come on. Oh, I got a message from Russell. I'll look at that later then. Alright, yep, that's everything. Alright, we're all set. Okay. Let's close the doors. Oh! How about everyone now shows up res? We're doing the second service of the day. Alright. Off to New Rochelle. And by the way, I'll be doing this with the access system off. Because, like I said, I'm still learning this route. I don't want any more emergency brake applications. I know HC is... Wait a second. Oh, no. Okay. Yeah, no. Okay, so the access will be forced on in the, Hang on. Yeah, there's more sounds, which I think I've heard before. But, yeah, Yes. Alright, we're off. In the A6 Ford, a route service to Penn. So, yeah, so now... so we're going to do the Stamford to New Rochelle section again, of course. But, once we get to New Rochelle... Okay, access is still going to go off, but I don't think it's going to apply any penalty break this time. I hope. If it does, I'll be very angry. Anyway, yeah, a couple things. Let's see. I love to get Train Sport 6. I hear a lot of good stuff about it. Yeah, I mean, Train Sport 6... I mean, it's alright for what it is. But it's not perfect, though. So, you know, as long as you're aware of some of the issues with it, you know. I mean, what is there is fine. I just kind of wish there was more to do, you know. I wish we had multiplayer, but we know that's never coming now. I wish we just more routes, or not more routes, longer routes than what we have, you know? Like, for example, New York Stamford should have been New York to New Haven, but no, we can't do that. And a question from Sherry Dunbar, Helder, what controls used for the trains? I just use keyboard and mouse. Oh, I forgot! This has announcements now as well. We're gonna have to listen to those when we get to New Rochelle. And Penn. Alrighty, well, since it's an Amtrak service, it's a train line dash to New Rochelle this time. No intermediate stops. Thank goodness. Should fly by then. Actually, they do a flyby with the M8, but we'll do a flyby here because they see 64. Yeah, I think the Axis might still like do its beeping stuff, but it's not going to apply a penalty break or anything like that since I haven't turned off. Let's not find someone to talk to for the rest of the stream. I've been talking to myself for this whole time because you know I have so few active subscribers. You know, it's also kind of funny. This is the second live stream in a row I'm driving an NEC 64. The difference that last time I was driving the NEC New York version of Train Sport 1, which is, well, which has very bad sounds. I do think, though, well, I know that when they did the Boston to Prowess version, though, of the NEC 64, they did actually, here's the cost card with But there's a break in the overhead wires. Very brief breakage, though. Oh, here's a little park at Cos Cob, I think. Oh, another Amtrak train. How about it? Nice. Alright, bit of power. Alright. But yeah, they redid the sounds for the H64 for the Lost in Problems version, which sounds a lot better, of course. And I don't think they've changed it since then, though, but then it's fine as it is. Also, notice how the automatic race has suspension setting. See, that's the setting you want to go into to silence the alarm. The M8 doesn't have that. It's so stupid. Why M8? Oh, well. I'm supposed to listen to the clock by that. Yeah, do this for 2 hours. Yeah, I was actually thinking the server was going to be shorter than the NEC New York scene, but no, that could be longer. Despite the fact that we're only 2 servers instead of 4. Oh well. That's fine. I don't mind doing longer. I have something planned. This one's only a little bit longer. Oh, look at that. Yeah. You see how the canary just went up like that? Yeah, I know that's supposed to happen, but, you know. Telltale games. And I think back to the M8 though, with the local service from Grand Central to Stamford. I was thinking, like I said, you could do a service from Grand Central to Stamford, and then you could just jump the other cab and go back the other way. Well, I mean, technically you can do that, but there's a very, very long layover, so long that I don't even think they do that in real life. I think in real life, if a driver does like a Grand Central to Stamford service, they just go on break for a while, and then maybe a different driver takes over. I don't know. Wait a sec. They did say this got suspension physics. But either they're really subtle or they don't, or they lie, because I can't see it. Are you sure, Dovetail? I think it is possible to drive the thing in the other world Discord, or else like as it as a substitute. Hey, I don't really care about the speed limits. Yeah, since I actually have the option to turn access off on this thing, I'm gonna drive with it off. I saw the new one of the Solar thing, but it looks like trash. I don't agree. I've also played Wonders of Solus. I think it's fine. It has issues though. Doesn't limit for the train. The 10 car. It has issues though, like there's no track monitor like what we have here in Train Sim Worlds. Although they did say they're gonna try to work on that, bring it back. And the realistic controls are also a little bit strange in the sense that You can hit a button to, to apply the throttle, apply the brake, but you can't release the throttle or brake. Like for example, I use A in this game to apply the throttle, and I use D to release it. You can't really do that in Wonders of Souls. Wonders of Souls, which is the YouTube poop name by the way, is you apply the throttle and then it's stuck on, and you can't release it unless you go into the cabin and move the throttle or you apply the breakers. It's kind of weird. I hope they fix that as well. But besides the missing track monitor and the fact that release controls are a bit weird, I do like it. And yeah, if anything, it just needs more, more stuff. I hope that we get more engines in the future, and I hope also the map gets expanded to like include other routes or the lines on the island of But I wouldn't say it looks like trash. I think that's a bit harsh. I mean, it has imperfections, but on the whole, it's pretty good. Are we changing track here? I don't have to be on the other track to go to the... Oh no, we go on the local one? No? So we spent on 45 for the interlock. What? It's kind of weird. Bit of power. One second. I wasn't even a knockoff. I mean, it's... I don't know. I'm not really sure where you get that perspective from. If you're rumbling again, that's... I don't know what that is. But I can't control that. Because people here are weird. Something I'll say about this part of Northeast Corridor, though, this isn't necessarily like a thing with, train mode, but it's just how this part is in real life. This is like the slowest part of Northeast Corridor, well, or the slowest, longest portion, right? Because the whole New York to New Haven, or New Haven to New York section of the Northeast Corridor, the highest speed is 80 miles an hour. Or no, it's 80 miles an hour on Metro North territory. Because reasons. Yeah. And as a result, this is kind of like the boring section of the Northeast Corridor, right? I mean, if the whole route from Washington to New York Penn, or New York Penn to Washington, which goes... It stays consistently at like very high speed. There are a few slow sections, but it is mostly high speed. And there are some slow sections between Boston and New Haven as well, but there's also, some decent number of fast sections as well. But then this whole route from New Haven to New Rochelle is all slower. So, yeah, this is kind of the boring section in terms of speed. I mean, 80 miles per hour isn't that bad, but this is what they scored. It's not for speed. So I'm kind of glad we have the Boston to Providence and New York trend route in this game because it does allow you to drive the A64 to still up to their max surface speed. But on this route, that's not happening. So look at how straight this track is, but you could do 100 on here. I mean, to be fair, this section of, well, all sections of the Northeast Corridor date back, you know, well over 100 years. I mean, this is former New Haven Railroad territory. Oh, there's missing OHLE there. Missing overhead wires there. Somebody point out in a stream. That was another transit. Another Metro Rail service. Makes sense they would upgrade a section of the Northeast Corridor to be higher speed, but it's funny, when we were at the Metro North Open House in New Haven last year, we actually asked one of the employees there, like, you know, why don't you upgrade the track to higher speeds? And they, I mean, we could, but it would require shutting down the line for 10 years and upgrading all the track and stuff. Which, I mean, I guess that makes sense. For a business route in the Northeast Corridor, that's never going to happen. And approaching newer shows, we should hear the announcement at some point. Are we gonna get the announcement or what?
This station is New Rochelle. As you leave the train, please watch the gap between the train and the platform.
There we go. That's a man voice. Something needs to be a female voice like on New Jersey Transit. Dang it, do air trains even have announcements in real life? I think they do. I don't know. I haven't been on an Amtrak train in a while, so I wouldn't know. Anyway, back to New Rochelle. Here, quite a bit ahead of schedule. And actually, if you're doing this also, you can actually go straight from Stamford to Penn non-stop. A little bit. Oh well.
This station is New Rochelle. This is the train to Richmond Main Street. The next station is Penn Station, New York.
Oh, that's cool. It tells you the trains are going to Richmond. Interesting. I guess I'll get a more detailed look at New Rochelle then. I'm gonna have to take another look at the original NEC New York version of this station. See how it compares to the to this version. Now the back train's off the platform. Is it gonna take us half an hour to get to Penn? I guess we'll see. Yeah, Richmond. I think it just says supposed to say just Richmond though. Actually, it's interesting going all the way to Richmond when this train reaches Washington. That's when they would have to do the loco swap. Let's switch this out for the for P-42 to continue the journey. Of course, that'll be a thing of the past once the aero trains arrive, because of course those have the ability to run. You know. Does this work, by the way? Maybe it does if you walk inside it, but we're not gonna do that. Anyways, so now we're about to get to a rather interesting part of this route, because of course we are now about to go onto the Northeast Corridor. As I'm stretching, we're about to go onto the Northeast Corridor route to Penn Station, which of course is the section that was also in the NEC New York route. But from what I know, this section they're about to drive on has actually been completely rebuilt, so it's not just them reusing the old NEC New York version. There's a whole new route, so we'll see what it's like. I also wonder if they actually include the what is it? The I can't see the track, so maybe it's been just eaten or something. Yeah, no fresh spawn in here, but everything else is there though. Let's see, Metro North Station, Fleetwood, and Bronxville, and then the IC as far as Stamford, and yeah. I just wish they built this thing all the way to New Haven, but to be fair, I always think to myself, if they ever brought this route to train some worlds, or if they ever brought the Northeast Corridor New Haven route to train some worlds, yeah, how would they do it? Well, they did it, only they cut the route off at Stamford. So, yeah. Alright. Let's see what this route looks like. Other EKC? About everyone shows up right as we're about to finish this live stream. I say about to finish. I've got half an hour to get to Penn Station, if it even takes that long. And then the stream will line up to that. Also, remember, I actually don't. I'm sorry, I don't remember you from a previous stream. You know, I've been streaming much lately. It's a good route. I mean, yeah. I mean, what's there is pretty good, I guess. Well, I don't have to train myself though on the M8 to figure out how the axis system works with it. Also, like how the speed limit here is 100 miles per hour, but it's such a short section that you're never gonna hit that speed on this section. Like there's already 70 coming up. So, yeah. So really, on this route, you're never gonna go anything above 80. It's broken. I mean, it's not really broken. I just haven't experienced any brokenness with this route. Hey, it's in Estella. How about it? Still on his way to Boston. Wait, there's a 100 section coming up? What? Huh. Maybe it can reach on this route. Well, let's see. There's a moment again. Let's see, what is the highest we can get on the sword section? Can we reach 100? Come on. Alright, here we go. Ooh, maybe. Speed. Well, I guess you can go pretty fast in this part of the route. Hey, so you may go to the 45. Alright, cool. So you can go 100, but only for a very short time, and then you have to immediately get on the brakes to slow down for the 45. Oh, it's better than nothing. Are we going to slow down in time, though? I'm on full service. Yeah, we're going to get down in time. So you can do 100, but only for a very short time, and then you have to immediately get on the brakes. Oh. Okay. Hey, over whatever this bridge is called. Well, this looks any different from the original version. I might figure out to do some sort of side-by-side comparison so I can see like what the difference is between the two routes. Well, as we trundle through New York City, well, like I say New York City, but not really, well, no, not New York proper yet. This is kind of like the outskirts of the, I don't know. Okay, well, I think we're in the New York metro area, but we're still a little bit of ways to New York itself. Oh yeah, since we're on the oldest corridor route, we're not gonna see any more Metro North trains. Now it's just gonna be Amtrak and maybe a CSX train. Maybe. You know something else I also remember from a while ago? Somebody actually made a video on the original NEC New York route, and mentioned in that video that some community members were complaining, being like, "Oh, I want this route with trains because it looks cool." And yeah, I will say the route between New York and Newark is pretty scenic. And well, not complain no more because that section has been rebuilt for Trains in World 6 and looks a lot better. Because you know how I was complaining in the NEC New York scene about how it was so stupid that they only had the route from Penn to, or no, route from Newark Airport to New Rochelle. Well, technically you now have the whole route from well, not the whole route, but you have more of the routes from Stamford to Trenton. So yeah, now it's possible to do a Northeast Regional or Southern service from Stamford to Trenton and vice versa. Which I think I will probably do, actually, in my spare time. And also, something else I found out is apparently somebody actually was able to merge the Long Island Railroad route with the New York Trenton route. But first, I'm hoping that he merges this route with New York Trenton. He then opens up the doors, opens the door for, longer Northeast Regional and Southern services. Guess we'll see what happens. Oh, that's suspension. I'm I'm not seeing any suspension on this thing. Oh, hold there. Phone died. Oh. Rip. Yeah, Duff, are you sure there's suspension for this on the A64 and I definitely noticed on the M8, but not this. Get a break. That press is so down. There's a bit of a quad track section here, but I think that's for the freight stuff. I think pretty soon we're about to enter the line that goes upwards to the Hellgate Bridge. I think. Oh, I like how the section, the Amtrak lines are electrified, whereas CSX lines aren't. Huh. That's funny. Ooh, I think that's a freight train right there. Nice. To say they didn't model Fresh Pond Junction, whatever that yard was called, that we visited in the NEC New York stream. I don't know why, like, that's like, what, an extra 5 miles of track? Like, really duplicating about the extra 5 miles? But we're now approaching the yard. Well, the other yard, the one we took off from. I do have Sandpatch Screen installed, but I'm not actually sure if any of the Sandpatch Screens actually layers onto this route. I think it's just the stuff that comes with this route. Oh, look at the New York skyline. Oh, that looks nice. How about that? The New York City skyline. We're gonna get a close look at that when we get closer to it. That's the big yard. And yep, now we're climbing the hill. And yeah, I think now we're gonna see what is visually the best part of this route. Did they even have this in the original NEC route? I know that recently, I've already forgotten because that's how much of a goldfish brain I have. Oh, look at that. There's a lot of detail in there. How about that? I think that is accessible. A bit of power. Yeah, look at that. Yeah, this is why people were complaining about this route, or the original route not being poured over to Train Sim World 2. Well, complain no more, because now it's back and it's been completely redone. Redone to Train Sim World 6 standards. I think that's the Brooklyn Bridge. Oh, that could be wrong. I don't know my New York bridges. I know the Hellgate Bridge because, you know, it's the rail bridge that the North Dakota crosses over. So that's easy to remember, but the others not so much. There it is. Oh, I got the panographs now. Not touching the wire because the overhead wires themselves are, you know. Same meters look a little bit different though from the original NEC valve. Sure. Site's a bit old though. Now, have they added in the subway station? You should see it right about somewhere along this part of the line. I know because I've been there in real life. So yeah, so they missed that on the original New York New Haven route, Anti-Tyson Classic. They missed that on the original NEC New York route. So is third time gonna be the charm? I don't think it is. Yeah, I'm not seeing it. Unless it's still... I actually forget the precise location it's actually at. I think it's somewhere along here. We should see it. Oh, I think the bridge structure is wrong, by the way. No, I don't think it's here. Oh well. Not surprised. Yeah, it's clearly visible from the train, by the way. Oh well. Oh, we're nearly there. There's the route to the yard. Although now it just sort of goes a little bit further down than it ends. Yeah, something's gonna be a bit longer than the other one I did. Oh well. Come on the brakes. And pretty soon we're by Sunnyside Yard, which I noticed on the map is empty. I think, but let's see what they have. Look at the bridge, just clipping the train. Yeah, I think it's clipping the train, but it's come very close to it. That'd be a bit dangerous in real life. Although in this game they just clipped right through everything, so it's like it's not even there. And now we're joining up where the Long Island Railroad connects. And I do think we have Long Island Railroad traffic. I think we might even see one. And oh yeah. Yeah, I don't understand, but for some reason Sunnyside Yard in this route is completely empty. Which I don't understand, because even in Long Island Railroad commuter, they actually filled it up like it's supposed to be in real life. And I think they're the same in Morristown. I might get actually saw the formation scheme of the engine is UP4014 is broken. Interesting. I'm gonna remember a good price. Wait, hold on, Oh yeah, Sunset Yard is empty, which again is not realistic at all. But hey, at least we got a new train station there. And the 7-line bridge is here. Yeah, I have no idea why Service Center is empty. Like, they literally corrected that for, well, they said it corrected for near Trenton. Then they continued that with along the railroad commuter. And Morristown line. But for some reason not this one. Oh, as the track appears bad. Hang on. Oh, really? I was gonna look at the 7 line. I was looking at the rail train as well. That's 7 line. And that's it for being outside. We're now entering the tunnel. Which I believe is the East River Tunnel. Well, that's pretty much New York Stamford. That's pretty good for what's there. I will say the M8 is a bit of a learning curve. You have to really figure that thing out in order to drive it, you know, without getting a penalty brake. You know, learn where the speed that goes down, learn, you know, just learn how it works. Again, there is a model that disables it, so I might consider doing that, but again, I don't know, I'll decide what I'll do later. Oh, I'm looking forward to doing more services this month. I'm curious to see what the New Jersey transit services are like. And also doing more Amtrak services. And also, I will definitely do a service in my spare time where I do a Amtrak service from Trenton to Stamford or the other direction or something. I don't know. But yeah. Although I wonder how well the timetable lines up though between this route and near Trenton. I'll have to investigate that. Otherwise, this is a solid route. I said that it worth the price though, $45. I don't know why it's so expensive. So, yeah, if you need, if for some reason you can't pirate it like I do, then you could just wait for a sale. I'm sure what Penn Station's like then, is it? Penn Station's more full. Huh. So they got Penn Station accurate, but not Sunnyside Yard. How does that make any sense? Yeah, I don't understand. I don't know. Oh well. Oh well. Anyway, yeah, that pretty much gonna do it for this live stream. I don't have any more services.
This is Penn Station, New York. As you leave the train, please watch the gap between the train and the platform.
Anyways, that's what's gonna speak, but there you go. No more service play for this live stream. I'm pretty much done because I've driven the whole route now, so we have nothing more to do. And yeah. As for when the next live stream will be, I actually don't know at this point, but I'll figure it out when the time comes. So we'll see. As far as the next video, well, I'm hoping to finally get the GS4 video done. That passage looks a bit different. Looks really loud. But I'm hoping to finally get the GS4 video done this Thursday and have another video coming soon after that. I won't say what it is yet though, but you'll find out very soon. And yeah. This is just weird. Did they redo Penn Station? Okay, I don't know if they necessarily redid it. Maybe they just reused the version of this from Morristown, but yeah, it looks good. And we are arriving 5 minutes early. And yeah, that's New York Stamford.
The 2 p.m. outbound train to
Train to where? Okay, but that's kind of cute, though. They have the announcer now in Penn Station, even though they didn't in Morristown. What? Wait, yeah, because no, they didn't have the announcer in the Morristown route, but they have it here. Interesting. I'll have to idle here and listen for it then. Looks like there's a red light right there, I just realized. And
This station
that's
is
it.
Penn Station, New York. This is the train to Richmond Main Street. The next station is Newark.
All right. Ooh, we got the long rhythm freezer. Well, we're pulling by the station. Oh, come on. Okay, nope, everything's broken. Okay. I'll like go meld this time though, probably because we have the safety systems, but that's fine. 35 miles though. Huh. I guess that's kind of long after all. Like, what 50 miles of track? Huh. I guess that is pretty long then. Oh, I see the drive's taking over. I want to go free roam. Can I go free roam without the game being stupid? No, it wasn't. Not the railroad train there. There we go. Yeah, we've got the new transit equipment showing up. There's only one train here.
Attention, New York. 2:01 p.m. outbound train to Trenton is expected to depart from track 3 in approximately 14 minutes.
So they actually have announcements of the version of Penn Station. Interesting, because like I said, they didn't have announcements over in the Morristown version of the station. They do here.
Attention, New York Penn Station passengers. The 2:02 p.m. outbound train to Richmond Main Street is expected to depart from track 12 in approximately 14 minutes.
Good. Let's get the long on the railroad platforms. Yeah, you got your M3, M7, any M9s. No. This guy's leaving. Can get one more announcement just for good measure. Oh, what did they do the concourse? They did. Well, kind of, sort of. I guess it's something. Alright, well, I could sit all day and do this, but I'm not going to because it's the end of the live stream. And I'm tired, so, yeah. So that's it then. That is like I said, that's the New York Stamford stream. Hope you enjoyed it. Like I said, next live stream, I don't know when it's going to happen, but we'll see what happens in the future. So the train. Can you not, please? I'm trying to do the outro. Oh, the train leaving. Alrighty. But yep, that's it. I don't remember much more to say, and yep, not seeing anything else in the chat. So yeah. Alright then. So yeah, that will do it for this live stream. Hope you guys have enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. And I will see you in whatever I make next.